Hi there. Are you ready for month 5? This means that we will be half over for the blocks, and then we can start doing the background. So this is the block that we're going to make, and if you look, I tried hard to match up, but it's not quite. But when you look at it overall, it doesn't matter. And I'm so excited. I really kind of like this block. It's pretty cute. We're working with a lot of triangles and some jewels. So we're doing a little bit fussier kind of cutting, but it shouldn't be too bad. Now, on third, the third fabric that you use in each set, it's a little tight to get those to get the blocks cut out with those jewels and triangles, but I'm going to show you how you can do it even if your block is not 10 inches, because I did this on the short side and it turned out perfectly. So let's start this cutting. I am excited. I love trying new blocks and new um, cutting techniques and things like that. So excited about that. All right. I am going to do this in the order that is in on the sheet. So, and I'm going to take it one at a time. So, block A, we're just doing jewels. So what I'm going to do, what I'm going to show you, I'm not going to show you on this one. It doesn't matter what side you use. You're not going to use the whole piece. So you just use whatever side it's comfortable with and go ahead and cut the strip size according to pattern book so we can start cutting those jewels. All right, while we're here, let's go ahead and do the triangle. Go ahead and do the triangle for, pretty sure it's this size. Let me look at the hex and more. I'm second guessing myself. Fussy cut shapes. I'll just use this so you can see how I'm doing it with this. If you don't have the fussy cut shapes, cutting the triangle out. Right, and I'm going to go ahead and cut, and it is that size. I can use it. I'm going to go ahead and cut those little dog ears off. All right, so we've got that done, and I'm putting it in the baggie. I can't wait to get started with the pillow. Every time I do that, I get a little more excited and a little more excited. All right, we need a little piece for our swatch card, so I'm just going to cut a little strip, and now that is scraps. Open up our book, 2 month, it's month 6, 2 month 5. See, I've already done the one side. So now we are putting in for this one. No, this doesn't hold it perfectly, but good enough for right now. I may start using Hot Fix when I do it, but that'll be for a later time. All right, let's cut the jewel. So you lay it out, and you see here the jewel right here, but we are using this top one, and you don't want to extend this little part off of the edge, so make sure you get it to the edge but not overstepping it. All right, I leave a little pinky off to hold that nice and tight, and I cut the 2 angles off like that. Then what I'm going to do, okay, turn this around like that, and then you're going to match up. I'm always getting so confused when I do this. Let me look. Guys, even me, I start second guessing myself. All right. We are doing it here. So it says 6.5-inch jewel. Did I cut something wrong? I think I did. I am so sorry, guys. Yeah, I did. I cut it wrong. I cut on the wrong one. That's okay. Even if you cut it wrong, it's still going to work. Need to cut that off and now turn it around. That does not look right, but it is. Wrong side of fabric. It's flip it. Urgh! I'm there. I'm there. Stay with me. Stay with me. We'll do another one. All right. Now you cut this angle and this angle. All right. And there is your jewel. But this is the wrong side of fabric that's up, so you would want to flip it over to that side. All right. You're going to turn it back around. You're going to line up here. See, you still have a little bit of give there. You line it up like that. Trim off this piece and this piece. And I'm sorry that I forgot how to trim it. It's been a while and I've been sick. So I'm having to remind myself a little bit. All right, and then we flip it over. And that matches up so nice and neat like that. Just perfect. And then we cut our, make sure it's lined up. There we go. And then we cut our pieces off. And you got your 2 jewels there. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so that is shape 1. And then on the second one, we do the same thing. So we cut more jewels. To the side, get our second piece. Cutting our strip. Cut the triangle real quick. I like to just go ahead and take care of it. That way you don't forget and then have to figure out which one you didn't do and look through your scraps and all that kind of thing. Well, that fell to the floor, so we will just use this. I've got slippery fingers today. All right. Now it takes a little bit of time, but it's so worth it. Put in the package. Oops, I don't want it folded. There we go. All right, that's your scrap. Now let's do it the right way from the beginning. Had the right idea, wrong size. All right. Trim. And then, oops, a little just stuck there on the edge. Then we're turning over. So this is the wrong side of the fabric. Line up your pieces and cut your jewel out. Then we're turning back around. Did I do it like that? Yeah. Turning back around, and we're I think it's like that. Yeah, we turn back around and over. And lining this up. Trim off those pieces. Turn around and over. Line up. It's pretty obvious how to turn it once you get the gist of it. And trim and trim. And there are your two jewels. This is A and this is B. Oh, I didn't put it in my book. I definitely don't want to mistake what I did. Month 5. Don't need a big piece, and it doesn't bother me if it's got a little angle on it. So there is Azalea. All right. Now this is the one that gets kind of tight. So what I decided when I was doing this, when I first did it, you're going to get 2 jewels and 2 triangles out of this, right? I would rather be short a little bit on the triangles because the tips get cut off. So this is an exact 10-inch side. So I'm going to turn this way. I'm going to show you if you have a short. Now you can do this up. Yeah, I mean, if it's much more than a quarter short, so you use your longest side on this. I'm just going to show you how if your longest side is 1/8 of an inch short, you can still do this. Okay. I think it's important for the jewel to get its full piece. So we're going to cut for the jewels. I'm not going to worry about squaring this up. It will get squared up in the seam allowances. So not important right now. Okay, that's for the jewels. And we know that we can get 2 jewels out of that. This piece is just shy of what you need, but that's okay. I'm going to show you how it works. Okay, so we don't need to cut anymore. So we're going to cut the jewels real quick since we know how to do that. We'll get that out of the way. Line that up. Okay, there's those. We turn over and back around because this is the back side and over. We cut that jewel out. Oop, I didn't get quite that edge. Okay. Then back over and cross like that. Line it up. On this edge right here, the top and the bottom. Then trim, trim. Again, we've been doing this the whole time. Then back over and you can line it up. And we've got it trimmed. Okay, so there's our 2 jewels. Now we're cutting triangles. These triangles, I'm just using the Hexamore ruler. I'm not getting out the Super Sidekick. I go all the way to the end. Now, can you see? I want to kind of, it's going to bump around for a second, but I want you to see. Right here, let me get the stiletto so my finger's not in the way. You can see that the fabric is not sticking up right there. But this is where the seam allowance is. This is why I wanted to give it to the triangle, because you're going to cut a little stub anyway, and that will get taken up in the seam allowance. I did it on the other one and it worked just great. So we're going to cut the triangles Let's go back up. Oops, sorry about the cords. So we're just going to cut those triangles now, and it will work out great. I promise you. Not ideal. It would be perfect if it were all the right size, but we don't live in a perfect world. So I'm just trying to show you how you can do it if it's not so perfect. And then we'll cut this other triangle. That's what I like about this one. You just kind of keep going. All right, so there's your two triangles as well. Now, you also need the triangle for the pillow if you're doing that, which how fun is that? Little extra project. There we go. Let's trim all of those pieces. I don't think I trimmed the edges on that other one. Well, that's okay. If I'm just trimming one or two in there, that's at the end, it's not a big deal. All right, so you still have plenty, you still have some left over, and I'm going to cut a piece for my book. And there you are. That's how you get those blocks from a not so perfect piece. All right, now we're just cutting a bunch of triangles from each one of these. And that's super easy. I was showing you how to do it on the Hexenmore. To me, it's easier than the Super Sidekick. You just go back and forth with your ruler. So we'll punch those triangles out and get moving on this. All right, so the next color we need, we're cutting 3 triangles out of this, but you still just need 1 cut. So you have all of that left over. You have a lot left over. All right. How you start, you line up from the very edge. You trim. Then you turn this over, you turn your ruler over, line it up, and trim. Now the other ones, ooh, that one I did not catch at all. So let's line that back up. There we go. There we go. And I'm going to trim. I probably should have trimmed those other ones. It's worth it when you're piecing to take this time and trim the triangles. I'm going to do these real quick before I move on. I don't want to forget them. And yes, that one's a little more than what you would do, right? But when you look at it like that, it's not that much more, and it's still going to go in the seam allowance. I promise. I promise, I promise. All right. Here. And if you have the fussy cut shapes, you can use the triangle and the fussy cut shapes to trim these. I just threw mine on the floor. It slipped out of my hand, so I'm going to be using this one. For those of you who don't have it, that's how you do it. All right, so how to continue with these? Super easy. You don't have to cut twice. You just put it there, cut. You've already got it. Turn this around. Cut like that, and there's your 3 triangles. Trim. All right, so now you kind of know how the triangles are. I'm just going to continue to cut, and I'll speed up the video a little bit so it's not so cumbersome watching me cut all these tiny little pieces. Just mind your sizes, look at the pattern, because you do cut different size triangles. You've got this size and there's another size. So don't forget to cut while you're going through with this huge piece you've got left over. Don't forget to cut your triangle out for oops, I'm missing those, just that tiny little corner. All right. This one's fun to sew. It is a fun one. A little bit more sewing involved, but that's okay. All right. And get a piece for the book. And there we go. And get that in there. Now we're all set with that color. Okay, I am going to speed up the video after this, cutting the rest of these so you can see me, but I'm not going to be talking through it. So here we go. Trying to get some of this trash out of the way. Now we're on the next color. All right, this again is the three triangles. Here we go. Okay, I do want to talk to you about how to get the triangle for the last one where you had to do a lot of triangles. So I'm going to use this. Again, this is a little bit like the other one. At the tip here, it's a little bit short, but that's okay because you're going to be, that'll be in the seam allowance just like the last one. So you can go ahead and cut. And even though it's a little deeper right here of a tip than it would normally be, it still is within the seam allowance. So that will work out. All right, we have finished cutting everything. So let's get this in here so we don't forget about it. I didn't cut those tips on that too. I'll go back and do that. It gets kind of, I know, cumbersome. All right. All right. So now we've got our pieces. We can get the rulers out of the way. I'm going to get my design board. And somebody was asking me how big this design board is. This is 20 by 15, it looks like. That's the size it is. All right, let's put this together. This is where you got to kind of pay attention a little bit and what your letters are. All right, so this is A, and this goes here on this edge, and this goes here on this edge, like that. That's A. And then another A will kind of be over here, here and here, like that. And then B goes here and here. Gets triangle, triangle. Now you really love that you tip those tips off because it makes it nice and easy. And then we've got C here. And I know this board's not quite big enough, but it kind of keeps it organized for me. I've just found it went a little bit easier. Okay, now D is this. So you've got 3 Ds. 3 Ds and D, A, B, C, D, C, and C here. Like this, and like this, and we're going to make triangles out of them. Same thing for these with the C in the middle. We are going to make those as well. All right. Oh, you couldn't even see it. It was out of view. My bad. We're making triangles here. I thought it was within view. There's the one, and here is the second one. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew these 2 triangles together before I start sewing this piece together. All right, let's head over to the machine.